And I'll send the link out to, I'll send the link out to everybody and,
Yep.
Okay.
Sounds good.
Got it.
Let me, we're live now.
Okay.
Welcome, everybody. We've got a live update for you with Stu Handte, former sheriff of Mineral County, regarding his case. And well, basically, he's a whistleblower under fire. So we want to share with you guys some updates of what happened this last couple months, and show you a presentation we came up with, basically breaking down what happened for you guys. Any words, any introductory words you want to say, Stu, before we start?
Once again, thank you, Stephen, for bringing this video to people's attention. What we're trying to do is expose the corruption that's taking place in our legal system. And of course, me being a former federal and state whistleblower, as well as you mentioned, the sheriff of a county, and 5 other law enforcement positions in Nevada, with a total of 30 years of law enforcement experience in the state of Nevada. I have been subjected to retaliation and vendetta-fueled revenge by cops, attorneys, and district attorney and judges in the Second District Court, Justice Court, for me assisting my friend Roger Hilligus in rescuing his mother from an assisted care facility back in 2019, where after we rescued her and both Roger and I were arrested on kidnapping charges, which were ludicrous to begin with. Her mother was murdered. We have evidence to prove that, and the cops refused to investigate it. That's why people no longer have faith and trust and instill faith and trust in the legal system, especially law enforcement officers these days, and rightfully so. So I thank you once again for all you do to expose these type of people, whether it's adult protective services, child protective services, and anybody that works for those Nazi agencies. That's what I call their boot jacking the Nazis. All they're there to do through the court systems is steal people's assets and monies, harm people, and sadly, unfortunately, eventually kill people. So I'm not going to back down from my fight to expose the people that destroyed my life and Roger's life. I'm going to go after them with everything I've got. And your video is an extremely important part of that aspect of me exposing these people and trying to bring these corrupt legal officials down. And thank you.
Yep, you're welcome. All right. So with that being said, we're going to start with the presentation and play that for you guys. It's about 50 minutes long. Here we go.
So, Stephen, we discussed about how I became a law enforcement officer. I have 2 people to thank for that. Both of them are my parents. Both of them are gone now. My dad, John Anthony Handte, was a United States Navy veteran, UDT Navy frogman. He also was an auxiliary member of the Vermont State Police. He also worked as a Washington County Deputy Sheriff. He also worked for Nevada Employment Security Department for 28 years. His career was a lot longer than mine in law enforcement. My mother, Barbara Ann Handte, was a registered nurse for over 45 years. They taught me about the rights and wrongs and how society should function under rules and regulations and laws that are properly enforced. The morals, ethics, and integrity that my parents possessed came into me. During my sophomore year at the University of Nevada, Reno, where I graduated from in 1983, I decided to change my major from pre-law, which I'm glad I did, to criminal justice. I graduated with a criminal justice degree in 1983 and then began applying for jobs. I was hired as a security agent for Liberty House Department Store, which is now defunct. And then I became the senior security agent after the senior security agent resigned to take another job with Nevada Department of Fish and Game. I was there when Nevada Highway Patrol offered me a position in Academy 19, which I took. I started my academy in February of 1984 and graduated on June 6, 1984 with honors. I didn't take an award home for being in the top physical fitness shape in the academy, but I also did very well in my academics. And so after being properly sworn in as a Nevada State Trooper, I was assigned to Tonopah, Nevada. I didn't go there right away because my father had a heart attack and I stayed at home till he recuperated. But I did go to Tonopah, my first duty station, then transferred to Las Vegas. where my wife and I stayed, and then we transferred to Reno. I stayed in Reno the entire rest of my law enforcement career as a state trooper and a senior state trooper with Nevada Highway Patrol. As a senior state trooper, I uncovered some very troubling and factually documented criminal information that led to criminal acts being perpetrated by the administration of the Department of Public Safety, specifically involving Nevada Highway Patrol. I became a state and federal whistleblower against my own department, and I was threatened with my career because of those whistleblowing activities on of all days 9/11/2001. Then they came after me and relieved me of duty. I fought to get my job back. I did get my job back, and I retired with morals high, integrity high, and my character high on April 8th, 2003. I was in law enforcement from April 8th to 2003, but during that time, I became a personal security bodyguard for a multi-billionaire. I'm not going to name her name. She's deceased now. And I stayed in that position until I was able to work a couple side jobs, and then I got back into law enforcement as a deputy sheriff of the Story County Sheriff's Department. I was there for a year. I quit because I got engaged to be married, which was a mistake. And then I broke off the engagement when my father had a massive heart attack, which he subsequently died from on October 21st, 2006. So in January 2007, I was offered a full-time position as a deputy sheriff back with the Story County Sheriff's Office, which I took. It was allowed me to care for my mother in her own home in Reno instead of placing her in an assisted care facility, where, of course, we already know the story behind Susan Hilligus, the mother of Roger Hilligus, who subsequently died in an assisted care facility in Reno, the third one. So I cared for my mother until she passed away in February of 2009. And then I took a job as an adult probation officer for the Reno Sparks Indian Colony in July of 2009, stayed there until December of 2013. In November of 2013, I applied for, and it was in the final consideration for the sheriff of Mineral County, Nevada, after the former sheriff left under less than auspicious circumstances. I filled out the remainder of his term after being unanimously appointed to that position by the Mineral County Board of Commissioners, and stayed in that position until I ran for sheriff in November of 2014. I lost that race, although the race was tampered with. The Attorney General at the time, Adam Laxalt, refused to investigate it. Why? Because he had ties to one of my former nemesis, the former sheriff of Story County, Gerald Antonoro Cook. So I subsequently lost out my position, which I wanted to stay at. My wife and I both wanted to stay there. And I left the Mineral County Sheriff's Office in January of 2015. I was then given a position senior supervisor at a United States military installation, the Hawthorne Army Depot base in Hawthorne, Nevada. Government clearance, which took approximately 8 months, and let me tell you, that was a real stickler. After that, I was notified of another law enforcement position office, the chief of police of the Yamba Indian Reservation in Austin, Nevada, on the Yamba Indian Reservation, just south of Austin, actually. I took that position. I was there for 2 years. When I heard of the chief of police position opening up at the Reno Sparks Indian Colony, I put in for it and was unanimously selected to that. However, I found corruption, and it's sad to say this, Stephen, but I found corruption in every law enforcement job I've worked at. Every single law enforcement job I've worked at, I found corruption. Whether I was a lightning rod or not, whether God put me in that position to find that corruption, I don't know. But I uncovered some significant fraud, white crime, financial fraud at the Reno Sparks Indian Colony involving the tribal administrator, who then found out that I was looking into it, and he subsequently terminated me off probation, the only job I've ever been fired from in my life. So that encompasses my 30 years of law enforcement. I hold my head high for the work I did, the people I've helped, and the people I served and protected. As for what has taken place subsequent after that, has been nothing short of a nightmare perpetrated by dirty cops, dirty attorneys, and dirty judges. Specifically the Reno Police Department, the Washington County Sheriff's Office, the Washington County District Attorney's Office, and the Reno Justice Court and the Second Judicial District Court, all of which have corrupt officials in legal positions. So I'm going to tell you this. This is for everybody listening in on this podcast, whether you're in Reno, Washington County, state of Nevada, or other states that listen to what Stephen has to say on this podcast. The legal system that we know it is broken. It serves only at the pleasure of those who are in positions of power and authority and leadership. They use it at their own discretion. They don't follow the laws. They make it up as they go along and self-interpret the laws. So I never did that, nor will I ever do that, no matter where I'm at and working in whatever job position the rest of my life. But I will say to everybody listening out there, when you think it's not going to happen to you, it's going to happen to you. The legal system will come get you. And you may go through years upon years of your life not having to worry about anything. But that one time you find out about it, it's not going to be a good time. And that's all I have to say. I appreciate the opportunity to speak on behalf of the 30-year law enforcement career I look back on with fond memories.
What you are about to see is from an October 21st, 2021 hearing in the case The State of Nevada versus Roger Hillegas. It speaks to Judge Barry L. Breslow's character or lack thereof and his state of mind in regard to the violation of due process of rights against Stuart Handte and Roger Hillegas.
I'm going to tell you a couple things, Mr. Hillegas. Number one, from now on, you do not address the court unless I call on you or you ask the court permission. You don't just start talking. I run the show here, not you. That applies for today and forever. Number one. Number two, stop talking. Reason, I'm trying to protect you from yourself right now. I haven't made a decision whether your request that your attorney be discharged is granted. Just because you want it so doesn't make it so. I make it so, not you. So set it for a hearing. Mr. Hillegas, I stopped you because I don't want you to say anything that could work to your disadvantage on this case going forward, whether you end up representing yourself or get new counsel. Set it for a hearing, counsel. I'll see you next week or the following week. Default position is in person. The date set for trial remains as is. That will be the order of the court. Thank you, everyone. The court's in recess.
You haven't got to Mr. Handte yet. Could you, Ms. Clark, could you tell the court we still have Mr. Handte to deal with?
The judge is gone. Let me try to get him back on. Just a second.
Good.
Counsel,
Yes.
I'm sorry to interrupt, but I am unable to reach the judge right now, so we're going to terminate this.
The following clip you are about to see establishes what has been uncovered in regard to Washoe County Judge Barry L. Breslow by Renee Weiler, who is a Securities and Exchange Commission SEC whistleblower, who does Mortgage Electronic Registration System, also known as MERS, mortgage fraud audits. Here is what she uncovered.
Hello, today is March 20th, 2025. My name is Renee Weiler. I am an SEC whistleblower, and I do what is called a MERS mortgage fraud audit. Today we are in the Reno, Nevada land records, and we are looking at a judge by the name of Barry L. Breslow, who appears to be one of these administrative law judges who has overstepped his bounds and treated a man by the name of Stuart Handte in a very abusive and unconstitutional manner, putting him in jail during COVID. And so he was treated very unfairly. And he's got quite the following. So I did an audit on Breslow about 3 years ago, and I found a hidden mortgage, and I could not at that time get into this county's records, but now I can. So we're going to do another search, and I'm going to be giving this to Billy Powers, who's a title curator, and I want her to be looking at this. Tyler Technologies, we have found all kinds of crazy things going on with a software program. We have it in Leelanau County, Michigan, and it's been a nightmare. It actually kicked me out when I was looking for one of the judge's records, and the Call of Duty video game came on and took over the site. So they told me I just pushed the wrong button, but I don't believe that for a minute. So we're going to do a search on Barry L. Breslow, and we're going to pull this up and just press the search button. Anybody can see your record, auto judges, because what we found out in Orange County, California, is that 58 counties had, and this was done by FOIA, had judges who are getting secret payments above and beyond their salaries. And so we got to be looking at all of this right now. Here we have Barry L. Breslow, And here's one record, assignment of deed of trust, reconveyance, deed of trust, reconveyance, deed of trust. So there are 58 records here. Amazing. And we have a mortgage electronic registration system loan that is not showing up in the land record, or not in the land records, but in the MERS registry, which we see on a lot of judges. They will have a mortgage in the land records, but it will not show up in MERS. And the other thing that we're seeing, we see one West Bank here. That's Mnuchin's bank. That's very disturbing. That's a red flag for sure. Reconveyance, deed of trust. And you can see all of these records. You and I are not going to have records like this. So why would a judge and his wife have all of these records? We just don't know. There's another MERS mortgage that did not show up when I did a search of one of his properties. So that is a red flag. And you can see JP Morgan Chase. We've got Barry and Wendy here. So we have a whole lot of records. So I'm going to go just do a few more pages. We will see more reconveyances. So I'm going to shoot this over to title curator and SEC whistleblower, Billy Powers, so she can do hopefully just a short video. Yes, that's right, Billy. I said a short video, maybe something that we can put on YouTube Shorts to just quickly explain this. There are more pages, but I'm going to just end this here and send this over to Billy. Thank you for watching.
What you are about to see is Judge Barry L. Breslow's fraudulent bond and oath of office from 2021. The following clip is from an August 27, 2021 hearing in the case The State of Nevada v. Roger Hillegas, and establishes the fact that Detective Allison Jenkins admitted to being wrong about the Stone Valley sign-in sheet, which was the justification for the Nevada Silver Alert.
Listen, Jerry, when you told us to get the first thing off, you were wrong. Yes, I was wrong.
Nevada probation revocation hearings. How to challenge the evidence. The biggest mistake I see lawyers make in Nevada probation revocation hearings is not knowing the law to protect their clients. Most lawyers think there's nothing that can be done when someone who is on probation is facing revocation of probation to win. Often a person is accused in a violation report prepared by Nevada Parole and Probation Department of committing a new crime. Many times the violation report contains hearsay, which is defined as an out-of-court statement being offered to prove the truth of the matter asserted. Inexperienced lawyers don't demand they declare those things because these lawyers don't understand they have an unconditional right to question and cross-examine the source of the information in those violation reports against you. In other words, if the arresting officer in the new arrest accuses you of doing something or saying something, he or she must be made present in the revocation hearing for your lawyer to cross-examine this witness. You don't have a right to a jury trial for your probation revocation hearing, but you can win. Your right to cross-examine is not as great as in a jury trial, but you absolutely do have the right to cross-examine the police officer who arrested you under your Sixth Amendment rights under the Nevada Constitution and the U.S. Constitution in your probation revocation hearing. This is because of the case of Anaya v. State, 96 Nev. 119, Nev. 1980. If the police officer is not available to testify and the prosecutor attempts to prove his or her case in the probation revocation hearing without the police officer, you will very likely be able to avoid revocation assuming that you have no other serious violations. If the judge permits the probation officer to testify about what the arresting officer said and did in the new arrest, You have a very good chance of getting the Nevada Supreme Court to reverse the judge's decision to revoke you, assuming you have no other violations such as absconding while on probation. Another important thing to remember is that you have the right to present witnesses in your defense at your revocation hearing. The Anaya versus State case I referenced above gives you that right to present mitigation evidence on your behalf. What that means is that you have the right to have your own character witnesses testify before the judge to hear what positive things you've done while on probation and that you are a person who is responsible, working or in school, going to all meetings, etc., and overall doing things to improve the quality of your life and that of your family. Most lawyers don't present live character witnesses in probation revocation hearings because they don't know that you can do this. Sometimes this may be the only thing that saves you and convinces the judge that you deserve to be reinstated to probation and that you should get a second chance. If family members present themselves well, then you may want them to testify about the impact that your getting revoked and going to prison will have on your family. If the judge likes your family, he or she may decide to give you a second chance so as not to punish your family for the mistakes you may have made while on probation. Also, you as a defendant have the right to testify in a probation revocation hearing in your own defense.
The facts which we have already established, the lies that Detective Allison Jenkins told, and the falsehoods in the technical violation report which you are about to see show a consistent pattern of outright lies, fabrications, and misinformation by the state without authority. Violations and response to imposed sanctions, directives and conduct, financial obligation, Special Condition 8. The defendant must abstain from the creation of any inflammatory social media or media posts or otherwise public rhetoric that would appear to a reasonable person to be an attempt to incite or inspire violence. Mr. Handte has failed to comply with the agreements listed in the Interstate Compact application, signed May 16, 2024, which includes abiding by the terms and conditions of supervision placed upon him in both Nevada and the receiving state. Failure to comply with the terms listed in the Interstate Compact application is considered a violation of his conditions of supervision. Between January and September of 2025, Mr. Hante's behavior has been a recurring concern for the division. This began on January 22, 2025, when the division learned he had been making threats against the Nevada Attorney General and other state officials. While the investigator believed the threats were not serious, they were instructed to cease immediately, and the California supervising officer was promptly notified. Directives and conduct, Special Condition 8.
Let's break down each paragraph here. Number one, where it says I failed to comply with the agreements listed by the receiving state. That's a lie because I've been in total compliance with California. In fact, California is recommending that I be released off probation early, and that report is going to be going out. Whether it's already gone out or not, I don't know. Number two, my behavior is not an issue. If I'm violating any laws, then there need to be additional charges set forth against me. There hasn't been. My behavior is not of concern for anybody unless it's direct threats or implied threats or any type of direct violence or implied violence, which it's not the case because I always put in there that I'm not a man of violence, nor do I want to incite violence. But my behavior, it should not even be addressed. If I'm making threats against the Nevada Attorney General and other state officials, we don't know who it is. We don't know what perceived threats were made. I can guarantee you this, if I did that, I'd already been in custody because making threats over the internet is a federal offense. So the investigator did not believe the threats were serious. Well, then why even stipulate to them? Why even bring them up? Because they're not serious, because there's no threats. There's no documented or verified complaints on this paragraph 3 where it says I'm making threats against the Nevada Attorney General, other state officials. Who have I been making the threats against? What threats were made? And when were the threats made? Okay, specifics. Documented, verified complaints. They don't have it. And they're just throwing whatever against the wall to see what sticks.
The pattern of concerning behavior continued April 29, 2025, when the division received a complaint that Mr. Handte was harassing Laura Gray, his father's guardian, and Leela Fons, a nursing director. The California supervising officer was again informed right away. Directives and conduct, Special Condition 8.
So the pattern of concerning behavior, once again, now we've gone from threats to behavior. It's like oil, or it's like mixing oil and water. They don't mix. Where the division received a complaint. From whom? From whom? Where was the complaint received from, and who filed it? Again, documented, verified complaints. that Mr. Handte was harassing Laura Gray, his father's guardian, and Lila Fons, the nursing director. Well, if you read the sentence in grammatical structure it's put forth, it appears to me that I've been harassing Laura Gray, who is my father's guardian, and Lila Fons, the nursing director. Well, first of all, I don't know Laura Gray, number one. But number two, most importantly, my father's been dead since October 21st of 2006. So I doubt my father has a guardian. And I don't know a Lila Fons, a nursing director. A nursing director for who? Does she file a complaint? Did this Laura Gray file a complaint? And the answer to that is there's nothing in documented form or verified form to stipulate to that. And it says the California supervisor was again informed right away. Well, on the previous paragraph, I never was notified. In this paragraph, I was never notified about this harassment that apparently or allegedly I committed on April 29th, 2025. It's ridiculous.
On June 12, 2025, the division received a call from Story County Sheriff Cullen, who reported receiving unwanted text messages from Mr. Handte. This was addressed with Mr. Handte by the California supervising officer immediately. Directives and conduct, Special Condition 8.
I did send a text message to Sheriff Mike Cullen on that day. Okay. There were some text messages I exchanged between Mr. Cullen and I. Some were good, some were not good. But there was never any threats. So it just says he reported receiving unwanted text messages. Did he file a complaint? Did he not file a complaint? This time, my supervising agent did notify me to stop sending text messages to Sheriff Cullen from the Story County Sheriff's Office, and I did. So that particular part of it is true. But on the 12th of June, I only sent one text message, not text messages, but one text message. However, it appears they're lumping in previous text messages to include the plural, the word message, to show that I was sending all these horrible text messages to Sheriff Cullen, which was in fact not true.
That's in the discovery, the text messages where he has you listed as Handte the felon, right? Correct? Is that the person?
Yeah, that's correct. Handte the felon, yes.
Okay.
Which is defaming, and I still have him underneath Mike Cullen. I don't have him underneath the dirty, rotten sheriff in my phone book, but he has Handte the felon in his phone book, which is just goes to show you that he and I used to be friends, and I went out there and stumped for him when he was running for sheriff, and he got to be elected sheriff, but all of a sudden he turned his back on me. That's pretty much indicative of some other people that have done the same thing to me over the last 6 years involved in this illegal criminal nightmare.
All right, so I'm going to screen share and just show the dates for each of those text messages. Like you said, they're lumping together ones from 2024 with this June 12th one. So let's go back and look at these so we can show the viewers that these are actually really old. And they're trying to lump them all in as if they're multiple messages.
Right.
Oh. So this is from you to Mike, and this is dated March 29th, 2024.
Right.
It's Stuart Handte. I left you a message the other day. I would really like to talk to you regarding my friend in your jail. I don't want you drug into this ongoing situation that is beyond corrupt. We were friends back a while back. Please don't believe anything that has been said about me. It's been a huge fabrication of lies upon more lies upon more lies, and I truly believe our old buddy Jerry has some hands in it too. I just want a few minutes of your time, Stu.
Yeah.
That was March
correct.
2024 at 5:03 p.m. This next one, Mike, it's Stuart Handte. I left you a message the other day. Okay, this is just
The same one.
same one. Okay.
Yep. Same one.
All right. And this other one is, says, Mike, your Sergeant Joe Welch is going to be the main witness against Roger Hilligus. Be it known that I intend to testify against his testimony based on another case where he lied about his investigation and testimony on a case where a person was illegally detained and unlawfully arrested in VC. Adding that I am certified as an expert in my field in the Virginia City Justice Court by Senior Judge James V. Mancuso. And I think it would be in the best interest of justice to drop this entire insanity before your jurisdiction and department get raked over the coals. Mike, I've seen the body cam footage and it's been compromised, and that is a felony under Nevada law. Your call. And that was dated April 20th, 2024.
2024. Yep.
At 12:19 p.m. Okay,
Yeah.
This is the same email.
Same one, on April 20th. Same one. April.
Same one, okay. And then the only one that's
That's this one, yeah,
June 12th of this year is this one text message right here.
that's
So
what,
this is over a year later. You know
yeah,
what?
that's the one
Insurance-
that's,
And Welch is corrupt. I will do my due diligence to go after his post certificate. Bank on it. Okay, so go ahead and give some brief background on the context of those text messages.
so basically the bottom line is that text message that they're referring to is not a threatening manner. Just basically calling the guy out for the fact of the matter that the whole situation against my former co-defendant has been nothing more than a bunch of contrived lies. And so that's my basic perspective on it all. And I just said, we'll go after cops that lie in on the stand in court. So that's a given, and so that's the only thing I have to say about that regarding that specific text message. The other messages that they're lumping together are very, they're very friendly. There's nothing of any threats or insinuation of any threats or any violence or any insinuation of any violence in those text message. The last one that he got mad at and called someone about but didn't file a verified documented complaint is basically the bottom line is that he got pissed off because I called him out on it.
On September 3rd, 2025, the Washoe County Sheriff's Office received a call for service regarding a TikTok video Mr. Handte had made, titled "Stand Up to Corruption, Stop the Dirty Cops, Attorneys, and Judges. They are evil and carry evil in their hearts and minds. We carry God to fight the evil." The reporting party was concerned about a comment Mr. Handte had posted under another TikTok video stating, "Time for all of them to go to the train station." The reporting party interpreted this as slang for being murdered and felt it should be reported. An incident report was created for informational purposes, and the court administrator was notified. Directives and Conduct, Special Condition 8. Did you know you have a secret trust fund? To all, everyone should watch and pay attention to this extremely important video, as it shows the financial corruption taking place within our so-called legal system that steals money from the American public each and every day through the actions of law enforcement, attorneys, and judges. Time to expose these crooks and bring them down. Some of them actually deserve a ride to the train station for what they have done. Hey, Reno Police, Washoe County Sheriff, Washoe County District Attorney, Reno Justice Court, and my favorite, the 2nd Judicial District Court. Y'all might want to take a gander at this. I am not a man of violence, nor am I making statements to imply violence or threats, but I am a man of conviction, and I will not relent or give up my fight to clear my name and expose the corrupt entities I just named in Nevada. Stuart Evans Handte, victim of a corrupt legal system in Washoe County, Reno, Nevada. P.S. To those on this distribution, feel free to blast this far and wide. Now, Stu, what was the context in which you referenced the train station? What did you mean by that?
To expound a little bit on this statement that's contained within that little paragraph, my suggestion is to be for all the bad people, whether it's cops, attorneys, or judges, to go to the train station in downtown Reno. There's an Amtrak train station. Get on the train, get out of town. That's the implication behind it all. That has nothing to do with anything other than that. There's no hidden agenda there. There's just a simple statement for them to pack their stuff, get down to the train station, get on the train, and get out of town. As for any tie to anything else, there's no specific reference to tie to anything else, to whether it's to anything of other video proportions, other than the fact that that statement taken in itself is a specific implication that I want people that are bad people to get out of town. Get on the train, get out of town. The train's been running through Reno for over a century now. So that's the easiest way. Go down to the train station, get on the train, get out of town.
Provide the context for that, because we did see that it was actually on X, not a TikTok video, and they're not providing the full context here. So go ahead and explain.
The video that I've stated about time to stand up for corruption, excuse me, that is the TikTok video. The other video that they were referenced to is not a TikTok video. It's just a republication of a video on X, which of course shows me that they're cyber stalking me on all my social media platforms. And so that video has been set forth on X. So the actual verbiage is not contained anywhere in any video that I've done. There's a reference to the train station, which we've already talked about. regarding people that are bad actors and bad people that need to go down to the Amtrak train station in Reno, get on board and take the train and get out of town and do the citizens of Reno a public service by not being a corrupt piece of garbage like they have been for many years in that town. So that's where I stand on that one. As for the reference to the video about time for everyone to go to the train station, that video doesn't exist. There is a video on X that I posted that it talks about the train station from the TV series Yellow.
It's just a post.
Yeah,
it's just a post. It's just a post from a YouTube video without any additional text added, and it's showing the title of the video, which is by Paramount Network. So they're clearly mixing up.
They're mixing everything up because they don't know what they're doing. Because as far as I'm concerned, there happens in this one. They say there is a incident report. Well, where's the incident report? Who's the complaining party? And where's the documented verified complaint to say that I'm threatening people by posting a video or sending an email talking about a stupid train station?
So there's no verified complaint yet, as of yet, for these.
Stephen, there's no verified complaint on every little thing we discussed so far, and we just keep going down the list. And then the last one is the email that was sent to Mr. Roy Strala.
Most recently, on September 4th, 2025, an email was sent to several recipients, including Roy Strala. Mr. Handte refers to attorneys as useless pieces of garbage and a criminal cabal. The email stated rhetoric such as, "I am not a man of violence, nor do I threaten any type of violence or threats thereof, but I am a man of conviction and will continue to do my diligence to bring down the criminal cabal which you are a part of. You are a disgrace to Sigma Nu fraternity and an absolute atrocity to the alumni of the University of Nevada, Reno. This email was brought to the attention of the division, resulting in a violation report, Directives and Conduct, Special Condition 8. Here is that email. Got that.
September 4th, that's it. Yeah.
1:08 p.m. Okay. Strala, you typify a useless piece of garbage attorney that was prompted and guided because you're not that smart to attack Roger and myself, and I know that useless witch Langer and second useless witch Harrington were all in cahoots with your biased and prejudiced self to continue to go after Roger and me. Tell your cronies who I can more than adequately name to be prepared for what lies ahead for you all. The legal system will bring you all down. Count on it. I am not a man of violence, nor do I threaten any type of violence or threats thereof, but I am a man of conviction and will continue to do my due diligence to bring down the criminal cabal which you are a part of. You are a disgrace to Sigma Nu fraternity and an absolute atrocity to the alumni of the University of Nevada, Reno. See you down the road, boy. Stuart Evans Handte, victim of a corrupt legal system in Washoe County, Reno, Nevada. And that was that email. And they completely didn't even mention the first part, which clearly shows that you're talking about through the legal system that will be taken down.
So the bottom line is that Roy Strala brought my name up in a criminal proceeding during sentencing that he had no business bringing up involving my. He goes, I know his former co-defendant Stuart Handte very well. I was not a co-defendant in Roger Hilligus' case in Story County, but he felt it necessary to drag my name into a situation that I had no direct or indirect involvement in. So when I heard about that and saw the video, I sent him an email and I called him out for what he is. He's a useless piece of garbage. I've worked with him before when I was a state trooper of the Highway Patrol, and he was a deputy district attorney of the Washoe County, which brings to question how you can be a prosecuting attorney on one hand for Story County, but be in private practice for the other. I believe that's a conflict of interest.
Yeah, conflict of interest. Sure.
So anyways, I just called him out. He and I both belong to the same fraternity at the University of Nevada, Reno, and we're also both alumni at the University of Nevada, Reno. So I just basically stated facts. I said he's a piece of garbage and he's a part of the criminal cabal. For him to even bring my name into a situation where I had no bearing whatsoever and being involved in. I saw the video, I watched the video, I heard what he said, and I just called him out for it. Too bad. That's my opinion. I didn't threaten him. I just called him a piece of garbage, which he is.
After the hearing on October 22nd, 2025, I was mandated to reappear in court again. My ADA rights being violated by District Court Judge Barry Breslow. So I had to come back to Reno again, and this time it was an I hearing. which we've already discussed, Stephen, regarding the facts that certain legalities have to be present in these denying hearings. But first and foremost, the author of the report, the technical violation report, which was the focal point, the crux of the entire situation on the 22nd of October and the 24th of November, wasn't even available. They brought in this guy by the name of Officer Paul Kane from the Department of Parole and Probation. All he did was testify to the information in the report. He did make some statements that he would have generated a incident report right away regarding a possible revocation of my probation had he been my supervising officer and heard about the train station comment, which again, from comparing apples to oranges, the train station has no direct analogy for anyone, including myself, to say, I want to murder these people and this is how I want to do it. So for that aspect, they're grasping at straws. What did happen though is I was allowed to have character witness, and my good friend and dear friend and roommate Tom Allman, who is the full-time sheriff of Mendocino County, he was elected the first time. In the 3 subsequent times, no one ran against him because he has such a stellar reputation as a law enforcement officer, and he now is the mayor of Willits, California, where I live. So people think very highly of him, and I thought about it when Mr. Day asked me, because Tom was with me, he came with me to Reno, if Tom should testify. And I said, yeah, I think he should. Because Tom has known me for about 15 years now. And I take very strong confidence in my life, the fact that he has allowed me to come live here with him, knowing what happened to me in Nevada. Not many people will do that, Stephen. So the man's character is above reproach. He was put on the stand, and I don't believe the Mr. Anus Stinky, that's what I call him. Anus Stinky, his name is Anus Stinky, was not prepared for him. And I looked over to my left when they called him because I wanted to see what his reaction was. He's pointing to the guy, Paul Kane, say, who is this guy? Because they didn't know who Tom Allman was. He was sitting in the audience. So Tom was able to testify on questions that were asked of him. There was a 2-part question where Breslin asked him he asked him a question, and he also wanted his opinion on this hearing. And he said, well, he said, the fact is that we're having this hearing. I don't know why we're here. That's what he said. I don't know why we're here in California. This wouldn't be taking place. Because as we've already alluded to in your video that is before this situation, in an I hearing, you have to have documented verified complaints. You don't have any documented verified complaints. But the key component here, and this is important, you have to. I'm pretty sure you have to have an additional charge, which additional charges, say you're doing time, let's just use my analogy, on a burglary charge, and you get arrested again on another unrelated charge. That brings you into this revocation hearing, a NIA hearing, to potentially revoke your probation. Christopher Day told me in a previous conversation prior to the 24th, I asked him point blank, I said, how many NIA hearings have you done? Hundreds. Okay. Tell me, how many times have you had an NIA hearing where there was an additional charge? He goes, this is the first time. So every other NIA hearing he's had, Stephen, there's been another mitigating charge to bring that probationer back into court to potentially revoke his probation. This is what these people are about. They are corrupt. They are criminally corrupt. And they don't care because we're rocking the boat. And then all of us, everybody out there that does the social media is rocking their boat. And we're going to continue to rock their boat because this is reprehensible. There is no reason whatsoever to bring me back there. It's a waste of taxpayers' time, resources, and money. I mean, how much did it cost? It cost me over $300 of money that I don't have a money tree in my backyard here. I'm not working currently. I'm trying to find a job. So my money is tight. And yet they mandated, disregarding my ADA rights, and what really gets crazy, now I've checked my eFlex file. You know about this. Every time we've had a court hearing or a document submitted or anything having to go in the court record, it's always been in my eFlex file. Well, guess what? in the month of October and November, there have been some documents submitted that weren't ruled upon. There's two motions submitted by Mr. Day, a motion to continue and a motion to strike. Special condition 8. Breslow ruled on special condition 8 motion in court, which is totally, I mean, this judge does whatever the hell he wants. He is a lunatic, okay? He is cuckoo, but he also is corrupt. He's very wise when it comes to financial aspects. Now, an interesting note that should be made is right at the beginning of the Anaya hearing, Mr. Day brought up the fact about me retaining Matt Pappas. Well, that stirred up the hornet's nest a little bit because nobody knew who Matt Pappas is prior to the motion for continuance because Mr. Day put Matt Pappas's name in there. Well, Breslow was all hot and bothered about, well, he's got an attorney. Why does he need another one? Is he hired him? I felt like saying, if you ask me that question, I'm going to say that's none of your damn business. So it was dicey at the beginning. Whatever people say one way or the other, this was a probation revocation hearing because Breslow made a statement about that prior to the October 22nd hearing where I had to come back. So this wasn't a review hearing or anything other than what it was designed to do. And what it was designed to do, Stephen, was take away my freedom, put me in jail where over 58 inmates have died, Washington County Jail since 2017, where I was mistreated, where my former co-defendant, Roger Hilligus, was mistreated, left out in the sun in over 100-degree temperatures. I went into a heat exhaustion incident. The corruption involved, and not just my case, but thousands of cases across the country involving crooked cops, crooked attorneys, and crooked judges is mind-boggling. It's mind-boggling. And so I testified. They tried to pin me down, but I've been around the block a time or two. And when it comes to courtroom testimony, and I was able to hold my own. And Stagey tried to get me the answer, a collection. Actually, Breslow stopped it, which I was amazed because Breslow normally doesn't stop Stagey. But he also practiced law from the bench, which he did this time as well. Every single time, Breslow's practiced law from the bench and never does a damn thing about it. So I testified besides Mr. Allman, besides Mr. Kane, and Breslow had a decision to make. And I believe the only decision he could make was there's no technical relation, and that's what he made. There was no, had there been wiggle room, Stephen, I'd probably be in jail and being mistreated or facing some sort of animosity while I was in jail like I did before. So because of this, it's obvious to everybody out there, and yourself, that these people are not done with me yet. John Gary was another guy who testified, one of Stinky's minions, and he basically said, well, Mr. Handte's social media accounts have been brought to our attention, which means cyber stalking me. Cyber stalking is a crime, federal offense, but they don't care. So they're cyber stalking me. And prior to us leaving the courtroom, I was ahead of my roommate, Tom Allman. Tom Allman went to shake the hand of Anus Stinky, and he refused to. And Tom says he was livid and brought everybody into the room, closed the door. So being the logical person I am, sort of to a certain degree, and so did Tom, we both concur on this, they are plotting another way to come get me. And all because I'm speaking the truth to you and other people out there about what happened to both Roger Hilligus and I because of rescuing his mother on August 8th of 2019, where she was subsequently murdered 2 months later. They don't want it. They don't want none of it. They want us to shut. They want me to shut up. They want Roger to shut up. Well, brother, I'm not shutting up. I'm just going to ramp it up even more, because if you want a street fight, you're going to get it. You want to be having sleepless nights because you don't know what I'm going to do next, you're going to get it. I'm not going to threaten anybody. As you've said, I'm not a man of violence, nor do I want to incite violence, nor do I want to incite any notion of violence. But I am a man of tenacity, and I am a man of conviction. And it's the last thing I do on this earth. I'm going to expose these people. I'm going to bring down as much of them as I can. And I'm going to go after them financially, because I'm not stupid enough to think that these people will be actually put in jail, indicted, perp walk, whatever you want to call it. They'll get away with it. Just like other people I've blown the whistle on have gotten away with it. But there's a breaking point, and we're way past it. So the hearing was in my benefit. We went back, we left Reno that afternoon, got back home to California, Northern California. And after getting back, here comes the kicker. I got a letter from the Nevada Department of Public Safety Internal Affairs Division, which basically said, thanks for bringing this to our concern about these two officers making this erroneous report, which is a Brady violation. We take it very seriously. We're very professional. And we can't tell you what could happen, but rest assured that these people will suffer any corrective remedies that may occur. Well, unfortunately, I'm going to push the envelope a little bit because I don't believe that a word that was contained in that letter it was just like a bullshit letter. Bullshit just to try and appease me. I'm not appeased. These officers should lose their jobs. Other officers have lost their jobs because they've lied on police reports or lied on the stand or done something to make exculpatory evidence go away. Those are all Brady violations. And having been a cop for 30 years, I know when somebody lies on a police report and they get caught red-handed, like an Allison Jenkins, like in your video, their career's over. They can't testify anymore. They have no credibility in the legal framework. Unless you live in Reno, Nevada. Or in state Nevada, then you have credibility. You do whatever you want. And so far, brother, these cops have done that. And I'm not going to stand for them. I'm just not going to stand for them. That's what I have to say.
All right, folks, that is it. That was the update on Stu Hante's technical violation, which didn't even occur, and it was proven in court, and he did nothing wrong. So I just want to emphasize, because this falls under our whole thing to do with free speech. We need to be able to have dialogue and be able to speak our criticisms of those in power, because if we don't have that, then we have no remedy to hold people accountable, and we need to hold those in power accountable who have abused that power, whether they be in Minnesota, California, Washington, or right here in Nevada. And with that being said, I hope you'll all help me spread out this message and share the show. Thank you, everyone. Have a good night.